let's jump into this one. So this guy, his life completely changed based on the fact that he saw somebody or he met someone while on a flight with. And after him meeting this lady, his life was never the same. Let's jump into it. I was on a return flight from a weekend with my boys and I sat next to this girl. She told me about her life in the city and told her about mine. We live in two different big cities. I felt like I could actually be myself around her. We kept talking and we both remained we were essentially very similar people. I told her about certain traumatic experience in my childhood because F it, I'm never going to see her again. So there's no point in hiding it. And she was the first person that actually listened. He didn't try to one up my pain by telling me a story that somehow measures up. Yeah, I get this. I think it's something that many people do. Sometimes I think maybe I find myself guilty of that. So you're having a conversation with somebody and probably let's say someone is telling you a story or giving you an experience or something that they went through. There's always this subconscious feeling where in your desire to want to relate to them might be one of the major motivations towards doing that. Or sometimes it's just the fact that you feel like, oh, that experience is nothing. Hear what I also went through. We try to give a similar story of a certain experience we had or somebody we know had just because you're trying to either relate to the person or sometimes either maybe outweigh whatever experience the person is trying to explain that they had. I think the positive thing about when the motive is to try to relate to a person is that it can make the person open up to you much, much more. Imagine somebody tell you about, let me say, something traumatic and you also have gone through a similar situation like that. It makes the person feel much more comfortable to be able to give you this information because you both have something of common which you guys have gone through. But sometimes if many times it is coming from the perspective of, oh, nah, that's nothing. I went through, this is what I went through. Many times you just come off as being cocky. You just come off as being somebody who's like, nah, why? You cause the person to shun in more, like, why should I give you this information? So many times I get what you're trying to say. Yeah, it's like, all right, this person actually listened. I was not listening with the intention of just wanting to come up with another story, come up with their own experience and shove it down my face. So one major practical aspect from this is in situations like this, it's very important to just listen to the experiences of others and then just see how empathetic you can be towards it. If you need to share a similar experience with that, it should be one where you're trying to relate to the person's empathetically trying to relate to what the person has gone through and then continue a conversation. So yeah, I get it. So she did not try to give him a one-up story about maybe a similar pain she experienced. He just listened and empathized without making me feel like a charity case. After the flight, I was over. After the flight was over, I told her if she's ever in my city, she will reach out. She said she would, but I 1000% doubt she ever will. She never gave me a few edibles. Oh, sorry. She gave me a few edibles. They were weak as F and went our separate ways. One thing about edibles, man, I have this, not a friend, I have, let me say, like an elder brother. So I have this elder man, and now I no longer trust him. Just based on the fact that whenever this guy gives you something to eat, at first I did not think so much about it. So I can remember the last time he did this to me, we were literally on the couch watching a movie, and I think he popped up like sweet, and he wanted to he just thought it was sweet. I wanted to suck it, and I was like, I have some. He took one out, like gave it to me, and I just put it in my mouth and something. And at the end of it, he was like, "Oh, that you may kick in later." I'm like, "What the heck? What do you mean you may kick in later?" And he's like, "He's supposed to help you to sleep." And I had a drive I had to do that night. I literally had to cancel it. So I was like, "Bro." Eventually, it was actually a very weak one because it did nothing to me. But I still had cancelled the drive. But prior to that, maybe like a week ago, because the first time I had never tried this rubbish. But I just let it go. But yeah, I did what he said it was weak. The problem is after meeting her, I took a good long look all the people I spend my time with. I realized I don't really like any of them. The girls I'm talking to are a waste of my time. There was one girl I was seriously considering having something serious with, and now I don't even want to see her. She asked if I was free this weekend, and I told her I'm sick. The fact of the matter is, I just realized I don't want to pretend to be somebody else just so others can enjoy my company. Now, I'm left with nobody who I can be genuinely myself with. I spent an entire week with my friends having the time of my life just to come home and realize it's all bullshit. And I don't want to do that anymore. I get it. Even though I do get it. But I think this is going to actually, it happens when I realize, like, that was like a moment of light, a moment of awakening, where for once, as he literally outlined, he said I could be myself with this lady. But the thing is this, for you to eventually, I think for you to be able to realize that, oh, I'm actually being myself right now around this person, It means to a certain level, to a very high extent, you've not been yourself with other people. You've been socially interacting based on the perspective of wanting to be a people pleaser, wanting to make yourself as fun as possible so that others can be happy in your presence. Many people fall victim to that. I really do think many people. But as much as possible, man, there is a need, especially in social interactions, there is the need to be able to develop the ability to remain genuine to yourself, even in your interactions with others. Because one thing that that's going to do is it's going to help you to eliminate those people in your life where from a social perspective, your personality cannot really blend with, and your personality you cannot really mingle with such fellows. Eventually, over time, based on the collisions that people will be having in your interactions, they will just eventually ease off and just no longer be there because they'll be like, nah, I don't enjoy this person's company. And those who are eventually actually going to be around are going to be people who understand your personality and enjoy your company. Or probably even if they don't enjoy your company, but they can bear it. So if is this bad to a situation that every time you're going out and spending time with your friends and spending time with the people who are in your life, you come back feeling miserable. It means, bro, you're being as fake as possible. It means you're not being true to yourself in your interactions with these people. And I know how that feels. And sometimes you find yourself in a social circle, in a meeting with several other people, even if they're just new people, and they're talking about things which are so you don't care about these things they're talking about. Many times we find ourselves, but you you come up with stories and you try as much as possible to engage with these stories, even though you know very well don't give a damn about whatever it is being discussed. For a one-time social interaction, that's understandable. And also, I think depending on the kind of occupation, there's some people who need to do these things just from a business perspective. That's understandable. But if it is in real life, you're trying to build real life friends and people acquaintances into your life. If you choose to always be the person who goes along with whatever is talked about or whatever personality trait you encounter, just so that the other person can have a good time with you, you eventually end up in the same position like this guy. You'll find yourself in so many positions where you just have to come up with a personality or come up with stories, come up with things to say or ways to behave just so that you can blend in, and it's freaking miserable in the long run. All right, that's what you guys have to say. Medical Gates. He says, it sounds like she saved your life. Being who you are without giving yourself permission to be an asshole will lose you people quantitatively, but you will find your people. Oh yeah, it's exactly what I was just saying. Yep, and he just echoed it. You need to be real with yourself, just so that eventually in the long run, those who ooze out or ease out of your life are those who you will not really find that much meaning in being in a relationship with them. And those who remain, and those who at the end of the day, you can literally go out, spend time with them, and come back feeling like, hell yeah, it was some good time. Let's pause that girl. He says, I feel this. It's hard to make friends as an adult. I don't really think it's that hard. I think what we just discussed is what you need to do, right? You don't need to be real. Even and the thing with being real is you will meet several people, especially if you're choosing to be the person who's the outgoing person. You really need to build up those standards. You really need to build up those standards of being yourself. Because in meeting these people and having these interactions with these people, you will find a lot of people who you really would not want to have a long-term relationship with these people. But only being true to yourself will these individuals be able to ooze out of your life, or would you be able to cut yourself off from these people? But if you choose to go out in these social interactions from the perspective of a peer person pleaser, nah, you're going to have a lot of issues. You're going to find yourself in this similar position. Anyway, what do you guys think about this situation? What do you guys think? This guy had a one-time interaction and it completely changed his life just because he could be real with it. Like, this is the first person he could be truly himself with. And unfortunately for him, so far in this story, it does not seem like he's ever going to be this lady again. We hope he does. We hope he does. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think about interactions in one's life where much of the time is just based on the perspective of being a people pleaser and you're never true to yourself? And then now in a situation like this, he finds out that everyone he had in his life, man, he doesn't even want to be with those people anymore. Anyway, drop your comments, subscribe, like the video, share the video. Until next time, big ups.